So you're thinking you'd like to sell your home, and naturally you're wondering how much money you'll make doing it, right? Makes sense. But in order to calculate your profit, first you'll need to estimate the expenses with selling. Yes, it does actually cost money to sell your house, whether you're selling for sale by owner or using an agent. So let's take a quick overview of some of those costs. Remember, this is for Montana, so your specific state or location will ultimately determine some of those final costs. But you can use this as more of a general guideline moving forward so you can decide what's best for you. Your first set of costs is, of course, your real estate agent's commission, assuming you're using an agent. This hovers nationally roughly around 5 to 7% range, and it does vary depending on the location, size of house, condition, and the services offered by the agent. So it's certainly a large factor to consider. It's also worth considering what a solid agent will bring to the table for that cost. So in other words, I like to say, make your agent earn their money. To get a good one, the commission is more than worth it, and the increased price you should see in addition to the fewer headaches you'll experience from having someone walk you through the complicated transaction. You usually come out ahead when you do so. With a typical agent-assisted home sale, studies show that people typically net 13% more in their sales price than they would if they sold it themselves. Next, you want to factor in inspections and repair items. You have the option to do a pre-sale inspection, which would probably run about $400 to $700 depending on the age and size of your home. This allows you to identify problems that might come up during the buyer's inspection. So you can either repair them ahead of time or just simply disclose them depending on what you prefer. And this is on a case-by-case basis. You'll work with your agent on what's best. You'll need to also talk to your agent or yourself, determine what you want to fix or prepare to get things ready for sale. Remember, people do not pay for potential. Then you've got your closing costs, which are anywhere from about 1% to 3% of the sales price on average. Those include title insurance, which in Montana is paid for by the seller, title agent fees, transfer fees, recording fees, and prorated property taxes, and often some HOA transfer fees if that applies. So these amounts that you'll pay heavily depend on your location and your specific circumstances. So let me know if you need a more detailed breakdown. I'm happy to do an estimated closing cost evaluation for you. Then you may have some seller concessions if they are requested by the buyer. These are very popular right now in our market. Rate buy downs, seller credits, that type of thing. This all depends on the property appeal, how competitive it is, and what your individual market is like. So sometimes it's just a reduction in sales price. Sometimes none of this at all. I'm just giving you an overview. These costs are actually heavily dependent on current market conditions where you're selling. So if you're selling in a strong market, there's a good chance you won't have a lot of those concessions, or they'll be smaller. You may even get multiple offers now that the market is getting busy again. On the contrary, if you're selling in a more balanced or a buyer's market, your concessions may be more substantial. So it's important to go over some of those options with your agent so you know what's coming ahead so you're not surprised. As a general ballpark, I would say you can estimate between 8 and 10% of the sales price is going to go towards all of these fees, commissions, and other costs I just talked about. Obviously, your house is unique and your special circumstances will dictate what those eventual costs are. So if you'd like I said, more information about what you could be expected to spend towards closing cost commissions and other things like that for your particular home, reach out to me. I'm happy to jump on a Zoom call, meet with you in person, whatever it takes, so I can give you an idea of what you're looking at and also the value that I would provide to you should we decide to work together.